Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are unlocking something incredibly powerful, the Essential AI Productivity Index for 2026. But look, we aren't zooming out to look at the broad corporate landscape today. We are filtering this massive index down strictly for you, the university student. We're going to look at exactly how to drastically boost your study efficiency and literally transform your academic workflow. Because let's be honest, if you're a student right now, you absolutely know the struggle. You're drowning in overflowing reading lists, unbelievably dense textbooks, and those looming deadlines that keep you up at 2 a.m. And on top of all that, there is just this endless noise. It feels like new AI tools drop every single week, right? They all promise to revolutionize how you work. But seriously, who actually has the time to test hundreds of applications when you've got a massive midterm on Monday? Well, we are going to cut right through all that hype today. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the AI tool overload, move right into research and writing essentials, explore smarter studying and note-taking hacks, cover presentations and that final polish, and finally, we'll build your ultimate student workflow. Kicking things off with Section 1, the AI tool overload, and cutting through the noise. The absolute biggest trap you can fall into right now is chasing every shiny new AI trend. The index makes a really clear anti-hype argument here. True productivity, it is not about bouncing from one new platform to another. It's about building a reliable workflow. You literally only need to master a handful of high-quality tools that consistently deliver real-world value. We're talking about tools that actually save you time, improve your accuracy, and just simplify your daily grind. Moving on to Section 2, Research and Writing Essentials. These are your S-tier tools for the heavy lifting. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how the absolute titans of the AI space are categorized. It's not by how popular they are, but by their highly specific tactical strengths for your coursework. We've got ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity AI. Now, at a glance, they might seem kind of similar, but using the exact right one for the right task is the secret to cutting your essay writing time in half. So let's look a little closer at each of these. First up, ChatGPT. Honestly, think of this as your ultimate brainstorming partner. When you're staring at a blank screen with massive writer's block, ChatGPT's fantastic conversational interface and really strong reasoning capabilities make it just perfect for generating outlines, exploring weird essay angles, and just getting those initial rough ideas onto paper. It's highly versatile and absolutely your go-to for prompt generation. But what happens when your professor assigns 3 massive, super dense PDFs for tomorrow's seminar? That is exactly where Claude steps in. Claude's absolute superpower is long document analysis and summarization. It handles massive files incredibly effectively. Plus, the I-index specifically points out its excellent writing quality, which makes it a huge favorite for researchers and students who need a much more professional, nuanced tone when structuring really complex arguments. And then we have Perplexity AI. Look, if there is one thing that will completely tank your grade, it's hallucinated facts and missing sources. Perplexity AI is basically your ultimate research assistant. Why? Because it gives you fast answers directly tied to internet searches. And most importantly, it gives you actual verifiable citations. When you need reliable, source-backed information to totally bulletproof your thesis, Perplexity is the undisputed champion. No question. Let's transition over to Section 3, Smarter Studying and Note-Taking. We're getting into A-tier and B-tier study hacks. This brings us to a frankly incredible A-tier tool, specifically called out in the index as excellent for education, and that is Notebook LM. The beauty of this tool is that you upload your own personal documents, your specific syllabi, your lecture slides, your notes. And it doesn't just generate basic summaries, it actively aids your learning by creating dynamic question and answer sessions based entirely on your course material. It can even generate audio overviews. You can literally listen to a custom podcast of your own notes while you're walking across campus to class. How cool is that? Another fantastic utility, sitting comfortably in the B tier as a great tool for very specific tasks, is Otter.ai. We all have that one professor who speaks at 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? Well, Otter.ai is phenomenal for transcribing those crazy fast-paced lectures. It's also great for recording group project meetings or capturing primary interviews you might be doing for a journalism or sociology paper. It basically guarantees you will never miss a critical quote or concept ever again. Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds into the final stages: presentations and final polish, designing and refining your work. When it comes to presentations, the index highlights 2 A-tier visual tools, Canva AI and Gamma. If you're putting together something highly visual, maybe a club flyer, some social media graphics, or you just need a super fast, beginner-friendly design workflow, Canva AI is totally your best bet. But if you need to build a really sleek pitch deck or a major research presentation and you want minimal manual formatting, Gamma is amazing. It generates incredibly professional slide layouts almost instantly.
And right before you hit submit on anything, we have Grammarly. This is also a B-tier specialist, but it remains an absolute essential for grammar correction, overall writing improvement, and, this is crucial, polishing those professional emails to your professors. You want to sound sharp, competent, and academic. This tool acts as your final line of defense against those sloppy little mistakes that could easily cost you a letter grade.
Which brings us to the grand finale, Section 5, the ultimate student workflow, chaining tools for maximum efficiency. So the absolutely crucial point here is that you shouldn't be using these platforms in isolation. The index maps out a powerful, multi-step life cycle to give you maximum efficiency. Let's walk through it. Step 1, start with Perplexity to gather your reliable cited sources. Step 2, feed those sources right into NotebookLM to organize your notes and create custom study guides. Step 3, jump over to ChatGPT to brainstorm your essay outline and hammer out an initial draft. And finally, Step 4, finish up with Grammarly for a flawless text polish, or use Canva and Gamma to lock in your visual assets. By mastering this highly specific students combo, the benefits are just immense. You aren't constantly distracted by dozens of disjointed apps, you study smarter, you summarize those dense textbooks in a fraction of the time, you generate bespoke study guides, and ultimately, you drastically improve the quality of your assignments, all while saving hours of tedious, repetitive work every single week. And you know, this perfectly captures the core philosophy of the 2026 index. The report states, AI is most effective when it enhances your skills rather than replacing critical thinking. These tools, they are your assistants. They're just here to clear the busy work out of your way so that your intellect, your arguments, and your unique perspective can actually take center stage in your coursework. So, you now have the exact blueprint to absolutely conquer your semester. You know the tools, you know their unique strengths, and you know exactly how to chain them together into an unstoppable workflow. So I'm going to leave you with this. Which of these essential tools are you going to integrate into your very next study session? Think about it. Pick just one to really master this week and watch your productivity soar. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.